There's already a significant population of Southern Sudanese who have been residing in the north, who have begun to come back to the south. We expect that some of that movement will continue after the results of the referendum are out. And obviously, as the Southerners come back and rebuild their lives back in the south, that will create some specific challenges, but also some opportunities.
What are some of those transitional challenges that you anticipate?
One immediate challenge is if indeed it turns out that a large number will remain in urban areas, what this means for those cities. What are the implications for Juba, for instance, if you have a sudden inflow of a large population in terms of infrastructure, but also in terms of, for instance, job opportunities, because many of the Southerners going back, they may have had employment in the north, and they will come back in the expectation of being able to find jobs in Juba. So all of this are challenges, if you will, that straddle a humanitarian response, but also developmental in nature, because they have to do with livelihoods, they have to do with infrastructure, and they have to do with the specific challenges of a rapid increase in populations.
Been monitoring closely the situation in Sudan, and most of the time I see a lot of women and children, because these are the most vulnerable people. So I have seen large numbers of women going back, but what is it that maybe the UNHCR can do to make sure that these people are taken care of or have things that they need on the ground, at least for the time being?
Indeed, during this journey through Sudan, there's a lot of potential risks. Let us not forget that there's areas where you still have tension and where women and children would be particularly vulnerable. And it is for this reason that UNHCR has, in conjunction with other UN agencies, has emphasized the need to have a presence so that we can monitor these movements, and that where there is need to intervene, that we are in a position to do so.
The land issue. I'm sure this is going to maybe at some point create a lot of problems. You have all these people coming back, but yes, there is land there, but who does that land belong to? Can an individual have access to that land?
We can rely on our experience in the return of refugees from Uganda, Kenya, Ethiopia over the past few years, where indeed in the rural areas this has become an issue, where sometimes those who have come back find that their original lands that belong to their families have been taken over by others, or where you have disputes over title deeds. And what we found is that very often the traditional mechanisms of resolving those disputes were still functional. Where they were not, it is often a question of trying to build that capacity so that at community level you have mechanisms to resolve those disputes.
What has been like the single most difficult or interesting experience?
I think time and again when we are supporting refugees, or in this case nationals, to go back to their homesteads, the most moving moment is to see the joy of people as they come home. I think there's very little that compares to witnessing the joy that people have when they reach back home.